Here we will see RadioButton Widget in Tkinter. A RadioButton is a standard Tkinter widget which is used for selecting one choice out of many. RadioButton can contain text or images, and you can associate a Python function or method with each button. And when the button is pressed, Tkinter automatically calls that function or method which is associated with it. General syntax for creating a radio button is radio button with parameters master and option, where master represents the parent window and options are the most commonly used options for radio buttons. These options can be used as key value pairs which are separated by commas. Different radio button options are active background. This option is used to represent the background color when the radio button is under cursor. Active foreground option is used to represent the foreground color when the radio button is under cursor. BG option is used to represent the normal background color displayed behind the label and indicator of the radio button. Bitmap option is used to display a monochrome image on button. BD option is used to represent the size of the border around the indicator, and the default value is 2 pixels. Command option is associated with a function to be called when the state of radio button is changed. With cursor option, the mouse cursor will change to the pattern when it is over the radio button. Disable foreground. The foreground color is used to render the text of a disabled radio button. The default is stippled version of the default foreground color. Font option is used to represent the font used for the text. FG option is used to represent the color used to render the text. Height option is used to represent the number of lines of text on radio button, and its default value is 1. Image option is used to display a graphic image on the button. Value option is used to set the radio button selected or unselected. If value equal to 1, radio button is selected, else it is unselected. Default is selected. Then off value. The associated control variable is set to 0 by default if the button is unchecked. We can change the state of unchecked variable to some other one. Then on value. The associated control variable is set to 1 by default if the button is checked. We can change the state of the checked variable to some other one. Pad X option is used to represent how much space to leave to the left and right of the radio button and its text. Its default value is 1 pixel. Pad Y option is used to represent how much space to leave above and below the radio button and text. Its default value is 1 pixel. Relief option is used to set the type of the border of the radio button. Its default value is set to flat. Then state. State represents the state of the radio button. By default it is set to normal. We can change it to disabled to make the radio button unresponsive. The state of the radio button is active when it is under focus. Text option is used to display the text on radio button. You can use new line character, that is /n, to display multiple lines of text. Underline option is used to represent the index of the character in the text which is to be underlined. The indexing starts with 0 in the text. Variable option is used to represent the associated variable that tracks the state of the radio button. And width option is used to represent the width of the radio button, and it also represents the number of characters that are represented in the form of text. Different methods with radio buttons are flash. This method makes the radio button briefly flash, changing its appearance to indicate activity, but it does not change the button's selected state. Invoke method simulates a click on the radio button. It selects the radio button, and if a command option is specified during its creation, it calls the associated function or method. Select method programmatically selects the radio button, setting its associated variable to the button's value. This does not trigger the command callback. And deselect method deselects the radio button. This can be useful for resetting or clearing selections, especially when managing multiple groups of radio buttons or when no option should be selected initially. Different methods of associated variables are get. Get method retrieves the current value of the variable associated with the radio button group. This value will correspond to the value of currently selected radio button. And set method sets the value of the variable associated with the radio button group. If a radio button in the group has matched value, the radio button will become selected. This can be used to set an initial selection or to change the selection programmatically. For example, here we have created a radio button. For this, first we have imported the Tkinter SDK. Then we have added a root window. We set the geometry of root window as 400 by 400. That is width equal to 400 and height equal to 400. Then we have set the title RadioButton Widget Demo, and we have added a radio button with a equal to tk.radiobutton, which will add a button A to the root window. Then you have set the different options, that background color equal to yellow, width equal to 20, height equal to 2, border size equal to 3, relief as flat, cursor as hand 2, foreground color as blue, font as Arial, then active background color as black, active foreground color as white, text to be written on the button as click, value of the radio button is 1, that is it is selected, justify is left, and highlight color as sky blue. And you have set the pad x equal to 5 and pad y equal to 10. Then with grid we have added this button on the root window. After execution it will create a radio button with background color as yellow, foreground color as blue, and value, since value is 1, it is a selected button. Now we'll add a radio button using Jupyter Notebook. First we'll import the Tkinter. So import Tkinter as tk. Then we have added a root window as root equal to tk.tk. Then we'll set the root window geometry. Then we'll set the title. And we'll add a root button as a equal to tk.RadioButton. For root window, we will set the background color to yellow, foreground color as blue, height equal to 2, width equal to 20. Then we'll add a radio button to grid with column equal to 0, row equal to 1, pad x equal to 100 and pad y equal to 100, and we'll add root dot main loop. And we execute it. It will add a radio button with background color as blue, height as 2 and width as 20. Then we'll set the text on it. So text equal to click me. Then we'll set the cursor equal to hand 2 and font equal to Arial. Offsize 16 and style as italic. And if we execute again, it will add a radio button with background color as yellow, foreground color as blue, the text on the radio button as click me, and the font as Arial. Cursor will be hand when we move over the radio button. Then we'll set active background and active foreground color. And we execute. When we click on this button, it will change the background color to black and foreground color to white. Then we'll set border star equal to 5, state equal to normal. By default state is normal, so we'll set here state equal to disabled. And if we execute, it will set the state of the radio button as disabled, that is you can't click on it. To change it, we will set it to normal, and if we execute, we can click on the radio button since the state is set to normal. Then we'll set value equal to 0. When we execute, it will set the radio button value to unselected since we have set the value equal to 0. That is, here we have added a radio button with Tkinter. For this, first we have imported the Tkinter, then we have added a root window with tk.tk, and we have set the geometry, that is width and height of the root window, and we have added a radio button as a equal to tk.RadioButton with parent window as root, background color as yellow, foreground color as blue, height is set to 2, width is set to 20, and text as click me. The cursor will set as hand 2 and font is Arial. Then active background color as black, active foreground color as white, border style as 5 and state as normal, and disabled and value as 0 or 1.